Hello everyone, and once again welcome back to my channel Sarvargyan. My name is Dr. Lokendra Singh, and today we are going to discuss about such a component which people are really confused with so many times. That when they are working in real-time production environment, so they need to define that what are their roles and responsibility. Sometimes people say that I'm working as a Linux admin. Sometimes they have to work as Linux and AWS admin. So what are the roles and responsibility which they can define? And how they can prove that yes they are working in real time and the particular daily task which they perform they know it well. So without wasting any more time, let us discuss about it. But before starting this video, I would like to request you to please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and do not forget to share with your friends. Okay, so if we talk about Linux, so there are only couple of things which are there in Linux which are really important, and most of people work around those components only on daily basis. First of all, like if you talk about like roles and responsibility of AWS admin, what are going to be these? First of all, it will come to user administration. It means we have to create user, we have to remove, update, we have to define a user home directory in some different location rather than using default, changing user ID. It could be possible that a user is already created, we have to create a group and we have to make that existing user part of new group. We have to ensure that how a user can be part of multiple groups. Fine. So these are the things. It means user administration sort of task we have to define. Not only defining this, a person should be knowing that what are the default files when we are talking about user administration. So what are the default files where user information is kept? Or whenever we run a command which is known as user add, so what are the files where from it takes input? Let us say if there is a particular file etc login.defs, there is a file slash etc default user add, etc scal, and there are some other hidden files are there. So what are the main files which we are going to talk about, right? So end of the day, my whole purpose here is to tell you that user administration is the very first task which you can think of. Second thing here is that is file permissions. So file permissions are they like we can use chmod command, set fsil command, chattr, or maybe SELinux, right? So even SELinux can be used to secure a file. So you should be knowing like what are the particular use case of chmod. So a person can ask you that when I have chmod command, then why do I need to use set fcl? Or when I have set fcl, why do I need to use chatter command or SELinux, right? So you should be knowing like user, what is group, what is other. When I'm going to use set fcl, when I can use chmod command, right? Apart from that, not only this, you should be knowing like what is a special permission like sticky bit, SUID, SGID, and other component you should be knowing. Apart from that, you should be knowing that how to implement the particular permissions. If you are going to talk about like implementing your SGID, you should be knowing about what is the command for that. If you need to like where you can implement, whether it can be implemented in a directory, file, or what, right? So this sort of thing you should know. Then after, if we talk about package management, so there are two major component here. Like first of all is RPM and second one here is YUM. So these are especially designed for RHEL or you can select CentOS. But if we talk about Ubuntu platform, so we can talk about here like DPKG, or we can talk about here APT or APT get. So both are there. Either we can use APT or we can use APT get, right? So these are the package manager there. So you will have to understand like first of all you should remember the particular most of package and their particular software. Let us say we need to install a command netstat. So you should be knowing that what is going to be package of that, right? Package means the particular software, the particular binary file which we are going to install, what will be the name of that, right? In the same way, like let us say you have to install SAR, it means SAR command. So what is going to be package of that? So first of all, you should know about the package. Then after, how do you install it? With the help of RPM, with the help of YUM, with the help of DPKG, or with the help of apt-get, right? Then after, what are the main configuration files of that? Let us say you have installed HTTPD. So you should be knowing about that. If you have to identify what are the files and what are the folders which are created after installing this file. So you can run a command like rpm-ql and so and on and so forth, right? So these are the things which you can easily figure out. Then after, if we talk about disk management, so obviously there are multiple components here. Like a person would like to know about LVM. It means logical volume management. How do you check logical volume? How do you create physical volume? How do you extend like volume group? So multiple questions can be there. Apart from that, if you are beginner, so a person would like to know like what are the type of partition you have worked with, like what is primary, what is extended, what is logical partition, how many total partition can be there, like we can create maximum 4 primary partition. out of or one can be extended partition, and if you have three primary plus one extended partition, then you can create 11 more logical partition as well as per IBM standard policy, right? So these are default, but based on the particular file system type, this number can be increased or reduced, right? Then after we will talk about file system. So what is what is ext2, ext3, ext4, xfs, and the particular differences of all, right? In fact, whenever you run a command df-h, so ideally there should be a practice to run the command capital T and then H. It means you will not only get to know about the file system mounting location, but you will get to know about the file system as well. So that should be in practice, right? Apart from that, if you talk about like what are your roles and responsibility, what do you perform on day to day, so obviously like operating system monitoring and performing tuning, these are going to be your tasks. So for performing these sort of tasks, what sort of command you should know, like ulimit. Not only ulimit command, you should be knowing about like how do we utilize it if we have to like modify the value of existing value we have to modify. So you should be knowing what is soft limit, what is hard limit. Then after, how do you define like memory limit and other components here, right, with the help of ulimit. Then after, if you have to modify the limit within the configuration file, so like you have to define here like etc securitylimits.com, there is a file, you should be knowing about that. Then after, you should be knowing about lsof, how to install it, how to use it, how to identify what are the particular open files on system. lsof command will help you. If you talk about load average, so what is load average, what is the particular like use case of that we have 1, 5 and 15 minutes of different load averages. Then after, what are the different values when we run top command, so that sort of things you should know. Memory utilization, if we use free command or if we use vmstat command, what is the differences between both. Then after, you should be knowing about disk and network IO, network input output, you should be knowing about, and these sort of things are there which are considered under your operating system monitoring and tuning plus performance optimization. These sort of things you should know. Apart from that, when you talk about troubleshooting, so troubleshooting is a particular situation when something which is supposed to work in a like appropriate behavior that should provide, but that is not working as expected. So it could be related to FTP, SSH, Apache, and any other, maybe Tomcat, maybe Apache Kafka, Apache Tomcat, Apache Pulsar, or any sort of service could be there. So you should be knowing it in advance. You should be knowing it well, that what are the services which you are working with and how you are going to fix them, right? So these sort of things a person has to do on day-to-day routine, right? For example, if a new software has to be installed, then that will come under package management and like this, right? If we talk about like AWS engineer, so what are the roles and responsibility of AWS engineer? So you should be knowing about like infrastructure creation, and as and when you say that you are responsible creating infrastructure, so there will be one additional question. Okay, if I have to if I have to provision 50 servers, how you are going to create that? So they would like to know about your cloud formation template. It could be possible Ansible or maybe any other component, right? So you should be knowing about like what are the tools, how you can create it. Let us say a person can try to know like you have to create 10 S3 buckets, right? And you want to create those S3 buckets with the help of any script. So how you are going to define naming convention. Let us say one existing S3 bucket is there, and there is a requirement that the person would like to know that you have to copy the policy and the permission from existing S3 bucket to new S3 bucket, all the S3 buckets which are going to be created, how you are going to manage that. So these sort of things you should know, right? Then after, if we talk about like ensuring HA with auto scaling and ELB, so what is HA, you should be knowing. What is high availability, what are availability zones here, what is auto scaling, what is load balancing, how load balancing can help in order to provide you high availability, how auto scaling group is going to ensure that the number of servers which you have defined are all will always be up and running, right? So these sort of things are there. Then after, if we talk about like multiple domain hosting with enabling ELB and SSL certificate, for example, like you have only single load balancer you have and multiple domains are hosted on the same server. So every single domain will expect to have a one separate SSL certificate for that. So how do you create SSL certificate on the top of AWS? How do we associate that certificate with load balancer? So these sort of things you should know, right? Apart from that, if you talk about like domain hosting, so what are the type of records there and other components, right? So these sort of things you should know. Then after, if we talk about IAM, so identity and access management, so what do we know, what you have to perform on day-to-day routine within this? So like user creation, group, group management, adding like creating users and adding to existing group, creating group and assigning roles, like assigning the particular policy to group, creating roles, assigning policy to user, group and roles. Then after cross account access, like if there is a user who would like to access your S3 bucket and the user is created in different accounts, so how do you provide that user access to these sort of thing? You can do it, right? Then after we can talk about here like not only about this, like IAM, we can talk about some other components here. Okay, then after we can talk about like how do you allow users who are which are created on LDAP or maybe onto AD, right? And there is one point left, backup creation. So like S3. So when we talk about where do you create backup, so backup is created on the top of S3 bucket. And when we talk about S3, so you should be knowing about like what are the storage classes available, what is lifecycle policy, what is the encryption methodology you are using, what is Glacier, what is lifecycle manager, what is AWS backup. So if we take backup with AWS backup and if we take backup with AWS lifecycle manager, so right, so what is the difference between both? What, like if you have to change the particular class, so how do you implement that lifecycle policy? What is that? So these sort of things you should know. Then after if we talk about EFS, it means elastic file system. So let us say you have more than 100 servers where you want to mount the same volume. So how you can do that? So either you can create your own NFS server and then after you can mount that to different servers, or you can create one EFS and obviously you can mount that particular EFS to like cross availability cross availability zone and onto multiple servers. You can have shared folder on the top of it. Then after if you talk about VPC, so what do you have to do with VPC? Like creating VPC, customizing it, like you should be having proper understanding of like what is CIDR, what is subnet, what is availability zone. Can a subnet be associated within multiple availability zones? Can one availability zone have multiple subnets? What is route table? Like how many route tables can we create with one VPC, right? Then after what is internet gateway, what is NAT gateway, what is VPC peering? Then after what is transit gateway, what is endpoint? So these sort of things you should be knowing. Then after you should be knowing even the steps of configuring all these things, right? Then after if we talk CloudFront, so what is origin? What is SSL? Like how do you SSL certificate on origin? Like how do you, let us say your origin certificate is going to get expired. So what are the steps of it? Then after you should be knowing about WAF. It means web application firewall. You should know. You should know about Shield, about site security. So these sort of thing you should be knowing in order to say that yes, you work on all these things. Apart from that, a person can ask you. Let us say that what is invalidation? What is invalidation? So guys, invalidation is a particular process that is, let us say that there is a file, maybe index.html, and you want to remove the cache from all edge locations. So you will have to perform this activity with the help of invalidation. Then after you will have to discuss about RDS, like how do you set up that, what other type of instances have you worked with. So like most of people say that T2 micro, but guys that is DB2 micro, right? So that sort of thing are here, like backup, we can talk about restore, we can talk about read replica, and obviously like someone can ask you, okay, let us say if I have a particular server working with me and I have to ensure the particular fail of forceful failover I want to ensure, I want to check it whether it works or not. So how do you perform that? If you perform the failover, so what are going to be the steps in order to roll it back to main server? These sort of things a person would like to would expect from your side if you say that you are working on AWS and these sort of things are there, right? Apart from that, Route 53 like hosting public zone like or internal zone, editing VPC like what all VPCs will be able to access in case of internal VPC, internal hosted zone, understanding DNS record, what is like what is A record, what is AAAA like IPv6, what is CNAME, means canonical name, what is MX record, mail exchange record, what is use of TXT, what is use of SPF, what is use of DKIM, and what is use of PTR record. So these sort of record you should be knowing, right? And finally, we talk about like other services which are of like AWS, what is like Trusted Advisor, AWS Organization, CloudTrail, Config, and so many other services are there. Including we can obviously discuss about here is like CloudWatch, EKS, like Elastic Kubernetes Services, ECS, Elastic Container Services, ECR, Elastic Container Repository, and so many other services are there, right? You can talk about even AWS code pipeline as well. So many services, whatever you know, you can define here, right? But based on which you do not only write down the name of that service, but you should be in position to discuss about that particular component. I can agree with that if you are just learning only, So you cannot really go into that much depth, but whatever you have mentioned on the top of your resume, you should be able to answer at least basic questions, and you should have at least basic idea of the component, right? So I hope this has been like informative to you guys. Thank you so very much for watching. Have a good time and happy learning. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, do write in comment box. I'll be there to assist you on that. Thank you very much. Have a good time and happy learning.